Hey everyone, if you're just starting your coding journey, get ready because we're about to unlock one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. We're talking about making the computer do all the boring, repetitive stuff for you. Let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? When you have to do the same exact thing over and over and over again in your code, your first thought is probably just copy paste, copy paste. But what if I told you there's a way, a much smarter way to handle all that repetition? I mean, seriously, just imagine trying to print hello 100 times by hand. You'd have 100 lines of the exact same code. It would be a total mess to read, a nightmare to change later, and let's be honest, just super tedious. This is exactly the kind of problem that programming is perfect for solving.
Well, there is a better way, and it's called a loop. This is the magic word for today. A loop is basically an instruction that tells your program, hey, see this chunk of code? Keep doing it over and over again until I tell you to stop. This, right here, is your key to writing code that's not just powerful, but also really clean and efficient.
All right, so where do we begin? We're going to jump right in with one of the most flexible loops you'll ever use. Let's meet our very first tool for automation, the while loop.
You see, loops generally fall into two main camps. Some are counter-controlled, meaning you tell them, hey, run exactly 10 times. But the other kind, conditional loops, are different. They just keep running as long as some condition is true. And that's where the while loop lives. It's perfect for when you don't know exactly how many times you need to repeat something.
So yeah, the while loop. Its logic is actually super simple. It's like a recipe that says, keep stirring while the sauce isn't thick. You check, is the sauce thick yet? Nope, so you stir. Then you check again. Is it thick now? Nope, so you stir again. You just keep repeating that check, then act cycle.
And this is what it looks like in the actual code. You've got the word while, and then right next to it, in parentheses, you have your condition. Think of this condition as a bouncer at a club. If the condition is true, the bouncer lets you in to run the code inside the curly braces. But if it's false, nope, you're not getting in. The program just skips that whole block of code and moves on. All right, the best way to really get this is to just walk through one step by step. So let's trace what this simple loop is doing. First things first, we declare a variable, an integer called count, and we set it to 0. This is our starting line. Okay, now the program hits the while statement, and the very first thing it does is check that condition. It asks the question, is the value of count, which is 0 right now, less than 2? And the answer is yes, it's true. So the gate opens and we get to go inside the loop. Because that condition was true, the code inside the loop gets to run. And what does it do? It prints welcome to C++ to the screen. Boom, that's one time through. Now, this next line is maybe the most important part of the whole loop. We see count plus plus. This little bit of code increases the value of count by 1. So count isn't 0 anymore, it's now 1. And this is so critical, because if we didn't have this line, count would stay at 0 forever, the condition would always be true, and our loop would never, ever stop. That's called an infinite loop, and it's something you really want to avoid. Okay, so we've reached the end of the code inside the loop. What happens now? Well, it zips right back up to the top to check the condition all over again. This time it asks, is count, which is now 1, less than 2? And yep, it sure is. The condition is still true, so the gate opens up for another round. And since the condition was true, we go through the body of the loop again. The program prints welcome to C++ for a second time. Then what? We hit that super important line again, count plus plus. The value of count gets bumped up by 1, so now it's equal to 2. We're getting really close to that finish line. So back up to the top one more time. The program checks the condition again. It asks, is count, which is now 2, less than 2? And the answer this time is, no, 2 is not less than 2. They're equal. So for the very first time, our condition is false. And since the condition is false, that gatekeeper, that bouncer, says, nope, not this time. The program completely skips over the code inside the loop and just moves on to the next line of code after it. And that's it, we're done. The loop ran exactly twice, just like we wanted, and then it stopped. Okay, so now you've got a handle on the while loop. Let's talk about its slightly different cousin, the do-while loop. This one is for those times when you absolutely need to guarantee something. And what's that guarantee? It's that the code inside a do-while loop will always run at least once, no matter what. It's kind of like a do first, ask for permission later kind of loop.
Think about it like a restaurant that lets you taste a dish before asking if you like it. You get that first taste guaranteed. And you can see the difference really clearly when you put them side by side. On the left with the while loop, the condition check is up at the front gate. But look at the do while loop on the right. The check is at the very end. It runs the code in the do block first, and then it looks at the while condition to decide if it should go again. That's the entire secret, right there.
All right, you've got the main looping tools down, but sometimes you need even finer control. You need some power-ups. So let's talk about two special commands that give you that extra bit of power over your loops. First, we have break. The best way to think about break is as the emergency exit. As soon as your program hits the word break, it just stops the loop dead in its tracks and jumps out, no matter what the main condition says. It's super useful. Like if you're searching through 1,000 names for Bob, once you find Bob, you don't need to check the other 999 names, right? You just break out of the loop and you're done.
And the other power-up is continue. If break is the emergency exit, continue is the skip this round button. When your code hits continue, it doesn't end the whole loop. It just skips the rest of the code for that one specific iteration and jumps right back to the top to start the next one. It's great if you're, say, processing a list of items and you find one you want to ignore. You just hit continue and move on to the next one.
And one last really powerful idea to leave you with: nested loops. This is literally what it sounds like, a loop inside of another loop. The clock on your wall is a perfect example, right? For every one time the hour hand moves forward, that's the outer loop. The minute hand has to go through its entire 60-minute cycle. That's the inner loop. This is a game changer for working with things like spreadsheets, game boards, anything with rows and columns.
So there you have it. You now know how to take a really boring, repetitive job and tell the computer to do it for you with just a few lines of code. You've got the while loop, the do while loop for that one-time guarantee, and even power-ups like break and continue to take full control. This power of automation is officially in your hands now. So the big question is, what are you going to solve with it?